Hello everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the webinar Next Kitchen Opportunities for FoodTech Startups in the Japanese Market. My name is Kana from Innovation Dojo Japan. Our company helps startups to become successful in Japan. So in today's seminar, we are going to get valuable insights from industry experts on the food tech market in Japan and introduce our unique program, Next Kitchen, an in-country program from 4th to 7th of February 2025 in Kobe, Japan. This program is designed specifically for international food tech startups seeking to forge meaningful connections and secure impactful business deals in the City of Gastronomy, Kobe. We'll cover the details later, but this initiative is supported by the Japanese government and receives generous funding. More than 20 leading Japanese companies ready to build relationships with food tech startups will join the program this year. So we strongly encourage you to stay until the end and discover how to get involved in the program. Before we get further into the session, let me explain a few housekeeping rules. There will be Q&A at the end of the session, and the audience is encouraged to type your questions in the chat throughout the session. So please keep typing, keep giving us your questions. And please also note that we are going to record this session and archive for those who have missed out today. So on that note, please allow me to introduce Ms. Emi Teshima, Chief Director, Japan External Trade Organization, JETRO Kobe office, to give some welcome remarks. Ms. Teshima has more than 25 years of experience at JETRO, assisting Japanese companies to expand their business overseas. As Chief Director of JETRO Kobe, she is working to promote trade and investment between Kobe, Japan, and the world. Prior to Kobe, she worked at JETRO Sydney as Deputy Managing Director, at the Tokyo head office as Director of Digital Marketing Division, at JETRO Gifu as Chief Director, and at JETRO Kuala Lumpur as Research Director. Ms. Teshima, please.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the organizer, I'd like to thank you for your interest in Next Kitchen 2025 and for attending today's seminar. As the Trade and Investment Promotion Agency of Japan's Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, METI, JETRO has 75 overseas offices in 55 countries around the world and 52 offices in Japan, including our headquarters in Tokyo and Osaka and our JETRO Kobe office. Through our global network, JETRO supports Japanese companies to enter overseas market and foreign companies to invest in Japan. Recently, JETRO has been actively supporting business matching between Japanese companies and overseas startups to accelerate open innovation as well. The Next Kitchen program is part of this support, specifically in the food tech business, and is a collaborative government initiative between Hyogo Prefecture, Kobe City, and JETRO Kobe. Hyogo Prefecture and Kobe City are home to many excellent companies. This year's Japanese partner companies include Kobe Busan, Sumitomo Corporation, Fujitsu, and other leading Japanese companies. So the networking in Kobe will be a gateway for your future business development in the Japanese market. So we look forward to your participation in the Next Kitchen 2025 and see you here in Kobe. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Teshima. Next, we are going to hear from Ms. Ugo Bataillard, founder and CEO of Gourmetpro, about his rich experience and insights on food tech market in Japan. Ugo is the founder and CEO of Gourmetpro, a startup which began as a Japanese market entry consulting company for foreign food and beverage companies. After a very successful first year, Gourmetpro shifted their business model to focus more on plant and cell-based foods, sustainability, and other innovations in food and beverage. Ugo, the floor is yours.
All right. Oh, give me a second. Sharing my screen. All right. Everybody sees my screen? All right. Cool. So good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining Food Tech Market in Japan presentation. I'm Hugo, yes. Like Kana said, founder and CEO of Gourmetpro. Basically, we have a global and curated network of food and beverage experts that are available on demand and that can help companies like yours in the food and beverage industry with their cross-border initiatives in more than 35 countries. And we've just turned 5 years old last year. So yesterday. So so today I'm going to talk about the Japan market, of course. First, going through the consumers and the distribution landscape, the common mistakes that company makes, and some case studies of international startups. So first, Japan, fourth economy in the world, really big market, also really reliant on import, especially on the food categories. So first importer in a lot of food categories. So there's a lot of potential for foreign brands in Japan. So a market, a really sophisticated market. All the players, the consumers and the manufacturers and even the importers are really committed to excellence and are expecting a high level of quality. So it's a great market for superior product, high quality product, even at a premium price. Even though the yen went a bit down, people are ready to pay for quality for their products. Another aspect is it's a market which is really driven by innovation. Like a lot of people are willing to test new things, and it has like through different aspects. First, like the temporality, like on seasons, you have like new flavors coming in and recurring flavors as well. But like for example, in spring, there's a lot of around sakura, cherry blossoms. Now we're in the fall. Fall is around tsukimi, like the equinox and admiring the moon. So McDonald's has like the tsukimi burger with an egg representing the moon. It's also the flavor of satsumaimo, like the sweet potato. We also have geography. So each region has their own specialty, right? One of the the ones that really managed to leverage this is Kit Kat, that have per prefecture a different flavor that is only available at that prefecture, except at Don Quixote, but don't tell everybody. But if like the idea is that when you visit a place, you go for a business trip or a trip, you need to bring back some gift, and usually cakes or confectionery. So you would go to Hokkaido, you have like the white chocolate biscuits. You go to Kobe, you have pudding. I just Googled it, and apparently it's pudding the specialty there. And even Tokyo has Tokyo Banana, really famous brand for omiyage from Tokyo. Then you have certain categories, especially the ones that are present in convenience stores, are doing like crazy innovation all the time. Gumi is one category where things are going a bit crazy. For example, one successful innovation there was the Mizu Gumi, literally means like water gumi, which was just clear color, transparent. And the whole concept was about this transparency, this purity, and it just was a big success. Just I don't know exactly why, but like people thought it maybe was better for you or something like this. Then you have what I have. Let me put it bigger. Like this is gumi that tastes like cat food but made for human. So it's not cat food. It's gumi for human, like cat lovers that want to kind of experience what cat experience. So why people make crazy things like this? In convenience store, there's a really strong competition, right? And people try to bring traffic through new products. So like, for example, in convenience stores, 5% of the SKUs change every week, like 50 times a year. 5%. 5% like 100 SKUs a week. And and in the gumi category, for example, like 30 to 40% of the revenue comes from products that have been launched less than 3 months ago. So it's crazy. So that's why like you want to be in that category like of constant innovation, but that's also really strong competition. So another aspect, like Japan is a lot about convenience, right? Convenience store is the clear example. They are everywhere. You can just buy anything at any time, but those were, traditionally like not necessarily great for you. So some company now are trying to go for like this. It's functional, it's better for you, but it's still really convenient. So I call it like convenient functionality. Kagome, like one of the big, vegetables, especially tomato players, they do a lot of juices. And you see like the main claim on this multi-vegetable and fruit juice is that with one kind of small brick, it's like, I think it's 200 milliliter or something, you get the equivalent of a whole meal worth of vegetables. So just drink your vegetables. You don't have time, just drink them. You'll be fine. Then in the startup world, like you have like two kind of successful brands right now, like Base Foods, which they make staple food like bread and pasta. They're two main SKUs. They don't have much more. But the thing is like a normal salaryman, like a business person that doesn't have time, they would either grab a bread like a brioche or something, or melon pan to be more local, just for a snack. But it's not great for you, right? It's just sugar. Here, they just made something with all the nutrients that you need. So literally what's written on the image is karada ni hitsuyo na mono zenbu iri. So it means like it has everything you need there, right? So you just eat that bread, don't even need anything on it. You have everything you need. Same for the pasta. Instead of grabbing a cup noodle, which would be bad for you, just put that in water. And even if you don't put any sauce, you'll be fine. Another one is Cycle.me, which is in 7-Eleven convenience stores. And they have a whole shelf. And you'll see like on the packaging, there's a clock on it with different times. And the goal is that you can buy at each time, you can find a product for that time. And if you consume it, it will be the perfect time to consume that thing, and it will be good for you. So some people just go to the convenience store, see that shelf, look at the date, the time, and just pick whatever is at that time. They don't even have to think what they should consume. Just it removes that barrier of what should I have. So now, like how to what is the distribution look like? How to get your products in the shelf is like the real challenge, right? So first, if we look at the market, the regionality of the market, like it's a big market. It's like $43 billion, right? So overall, it's really big, but you don't necessarily need to go nationwide. Of course, the main region is Kanto with Tokyo, Yokohama. Then you have Kansai with Osaka, Kobe, and Kyoto. And then the third one is Chubu with Nagoya, Niigata, and Nagano. And if you just take those three regions, that's 70% of the market already, right? And you don't need to go nationwide. You don't need to go especially like Tokyo, because it feels like, oh, Tokyo is big, Tokyo has everything, but it also has the most competition. If you look at Kansai, right, just Kansai has the same GDP as Switzerland, which is not negligible. And depending on your product, you can also even just focus on one city, like Kobe or Osaka. And it's a great way to figure out your supply chain issues, your control quality issues, and build your brand more locally first, and then maybe go to other regions. Then now, like really how it is structured. So you have three main layers. You have importers at the top, right? Wholesalers, and then retailers. The importers are traditionally like trading companies for commodities, and specialized importers for more packaged goods and like premium products. Then you have wholesalers that have access to the retailers. It's really rare that retailers deal with importers directly. It hasn't changed a lot for a long time, but now in the past 15 years, some wholesalers started importing directly, and some even retailers also started importing directly. So there is some changing here. An exception is in the beverage world, like the main four, like Asahi, Suntory, Kirin, and Sapporo, they also do import, right? And that's also for beverage company. Can also be a strategy to be imported by a beverage company, because they also own the vending machines, which is a huge network in Japan. So let's look at importers, right? There are four types. So there are the trading companies, like Sogo Shosha. So you have the Marubeni, the Mitsubishi, the Sumitomo, which is one of the partners. They are giant companies, highly diversified, and invest a lot in agriculture, in manufacture, and they also have VC arms. For example, like you would have Itochu acquired Dole, they acquired large vegetable oil companies in Europe. They have powerful route to market because they're big, but also because they own the largest wholesalers and some retailers as their subsidiaries, right? So they're also connected with everybody, so that they are great partners, but they're really selective, usually price driven. And and they want to tap a large market space, right? So like VCs, if the TAM is too small, don't try. So for emerging categories, unless you have a really strategic alignment, or a really competitive advantage, it's hard to convince them. Then you have large importers, usually leaders in their categories, like a product category or region. So for example, for Italian, you have Montebusan. For Thai food, you have Allied Corp. Usually they're, somehow large sales team between 20 and 50 people. They run their business nationwide and they work with the top wholesalers. Issue is like difficult to motivate. Like a lot of people are soliciting them and they are very picky. Based on our experience, not a lot of them are interested in innovation. So if you still want to try, you really need to be well prepared, show some trade story, market research, like really prove that you have a potential. Then you have niche importers. These are really small, independent, up to 10 employees, but all of them are like really passionate about what they do, right? So if you deal with them, they will want to know everything about your product, your business. If it's a family business, about your family, you can share them like 50 slides or 100 slides. They will eat them, really, no problem. And it's usually the best option if you want to, do a test market potential, because they really will help you. But in order to do that, you really need to understand their strength, their weakness, the coverage they have in terms of region and their existing partners. And you will have to identify where you need to support them, because they won't, like, it's a small team, they won't be able to do everything. So usually you will need to help them with the marketing, for example, right? And finally, you have retailers that are direct importing. So some, like the biggest, like Aeon, the biggest chain of supermarket, does some import of direct import. And then you have like some like international supermarkets like Seijo and Caldi. You have some Costco, and even like Bio C'est Bon, ex-French chain, which now belongs to Aeon for organic product. Seijo and Ishii and Caldi usually are ideal, right, partners. They have hundreds of stores, they have high rotation, they have their dedicated import subsidiaries and really strong expertise in products. So they will know, like, how to work with your products. So now let's look at wholesalers. I won't go into too details in the functions, right? I just want you to remember some names, because that's important. So you'll have actually in total there's like 8 top in retail, 10 in food service, but like here are some names like Mitsubishi, Nippon Access, Kokubu, Mitsui Food, Nishu Hans more for wine, and then so and then you have also Itochu a bit. Almost any, like all the F&B food, like retail food service, will work through a wholesaler, right? The reason is that it's a really fragmented landscape. There's thousands of food retail chains, including really small ones of 2 to 3 stores. And just the top 30 retail chains account for less than 30%, right? If you compare with France, where there's like 4 main brands of supermarkets, here in Japan, there's like 100. So it's a nightmare for importers and manufacturers to directly supply or invoice, right? Just invoice them. So on the other hand, the retail themselves, they rely on the wholesalers to do their own category management. They will let them figure out what they need. So one thing to keep in mind when you talk with an importer, if they say they have access to 10,000 stores, that usually just means that they work with one of those wholesalers, right? So they don't have direct access with those stores, right? So it's really important to analyze a potential gap there in terms of expectation. So now, like the retailers, like there's plenty of channels. We selected a few, mostly on the retail side. So supermarkets are the ones that drive like the most volumes. They can be really large, like department store from Aeon Mall, or they can be really small, like My Basket, almost like maybe double the size of a big convenience store. But most of them are regional, and it's a really fragmented market, right? There's 20,000 stores, but like there's like 100 of regional supermarket chain. The opposite is a convenience store. Like it's 60,000 almost point of sales, and really consolidated. You have 3 main brands: 7-Eleven, Family Mart, and Lawson. For most exporters, convenience stores seems like a great deal, but they're really hard to get. Don't expect to get there first. You have to have some experience in the market first. So they're really exigent on quality, shelf life, supply chain. They also take high margins. Maybe the exception would be Natural Lawson, which is more like a test bed subsidiary of Lawson. They have a few hundred stores around Tokyo, and it's more like usually for imported organic natural products, right? So you can have an angle if you have that more natural angle. The opportunities like for nationwide are more like the international supermarkets, like Seijo Ishii and Caldi that I mentioned before, as well as the cash and carry like Costco, which is really successful here, and can, if you manage to convince them, you will have volumes right away. As well as Gyomu Super, which is more local, but also like 1,000 stores or something. And they're both importing indirect, so you don't have to deal with any of the regulations or logistics issue. They will do that for you. Finally, there's e-commerce, where before COVID 2019, you could expect an average of 5% of sales there. But now, like some brands can do like 15, 20% on Rakuten and Amazon. Sorry, I'm going a bit fast. Some common mistakes. We should get there in 3 months. Never happens so far. It's going to take time and effort and resilience. So decision process is really slow in Japan. And also it's an ancillary culture which has hard time to trust, right? So you will need to show up over and over, hopefully fly or have someone here or have really like through an accelerator program, privileged connections with some people because it's really a people's business, people business culture. They said yes. The business culture is not the same here. That too, like saying yes doesn't necessarily mean we're gonna sign. It can just mean yes, we want to hear more. Yes, let's do another one, another meeting. Yes, I understand, right? So that too, like that difference of communication, business culture. It's good to have mentors, people on the ground or something to help you navigate those, especially when they take time. We've got the best product. So this is a really common thing. Japan expectation on quality is higher than anywhere else in the world, anywhere. So 95% of the time, companies will have to increase their quality control, the process line and everything, right? And sometimes it's not even about the product itself. It's the box around the box. If the box around the box is damaged or something, that can be a deal breaker for a buyer. We've got a distributor. We're fine. Work is done. No. Usually, like I was saying before, if you have a niche importer, even if you have a big one, it's really rare that we'll engage in the actual marketing effort, the activation and everything for your brand for you, right? There are some exceptions, of course, but it's rare. So you really need to put your own effort there to support them, build your brand in the market. So we have like two examples of success. So Nourished is a UK supplement, 3D printed supplement brand that lets you stack different functionalities in one, I want to say tablet, confectionery thing, candy. And they were invested in by Suntory. So Suntory is a big beer maker, but like all the beer makers, they have their alcohol beer, but they also have health departments, right? Like functional drinks, supplements, and the next step. And here there's a clear alignment, like which is more than just the open innovation department alignment. It's a real whole business alignment because supplements, the next step is customized nutrition. So it's for their key strategic investment to try to get into like this customized, personalized nutrition. So now they're available in Japan online. They have opened their second pop-up store to help like promote the brand. So that's a success in the collaboration. Another one is Eclipse Food. So they were invested by Sozo Ventures, which has a lot of LPs in Japan, among them Itochu. And through that, because both like Sozo get them like some people on the ground and have with a strong partnership with Itochu, they managed to get at launch co-manufacturing in Japan. So no problem with supply chain, pricing, could align the pricing with their main competitor, which was Häagen-Dazs, same format. and direct distribution in convenience stores because Itochu owns FamilyMart, so which is an exception to anything you can see in the market. Plus, Itochu also provide them with real estate, which is a flagship. Here, the alignment, again, is because their base is made of waste stream of starch and other commodities that Itochu trade on a global level. So that there too, there is a big potential alignment behind that makes it that collaboration successful. So it's always really important to understand if you want to find investment, like especially strategic investment, how that would work and why that would work for them. All right, so that was me. You can find me on LinkedIn if you reach out. If you're interested in Gourmetpro, gourmetpro.co, not com. There's also the QR code. And good luck for the future, and hopefully you'll join the accelerator to make it a bit easier. All right.
Thank you so much, Hugo,
Okay.
for your valuable insight. It's really interesting, and I'm not sure about the cat food for human either, but such a diverse, interesting market with high potential opportunities. And quite a few companies Hugo mentioned in the presentation actually already said that they were going to join the Next Kitchen program. So it's going to be a good segue to our next speaker. Our CEO, Mr. Josh Flannery, is going to explain the Next Kitchen program. Josh is the recognized innovation ecosystem leader in both Japan and Australia. As the co-founder and the CEO of Innovation Dojo Japan, his experience includes country manager for European open innovation firm Rainmaking, lead director for the largest startup hub in the Southern Hemisphere, Sydney Startup Hub, and he was the first hire and the leader of the University of New South Wales startup programs, which grew to become the leading university for entrepreneurs in Australia. He also has direct experience bringing tech startups into Japan. Josh, over to you.
Thank you, Kana, and thank you, Hugo, for those great insights. And earlier to Teshima-san, thanks so much for sharing those helpful insights for everyone here. Welcome, everyone. Please call me Josh. As Kana mentioned, I'm running a company called Innovation Dojo Japan. And I'm also a foreign entrepreneur like many of you, with an interest in bringing companies or innovations into this interesting and challenging market. And maybe another key thing to note is I've chosen Kobe City as the place to register my subsidiary in Japan. So hopefully I can be the friend for some of you that are looking for some realities of what it's really like coming into Japan via this city. And this session is all about explaining the opportunity that this program, the Next Kitchen, offers. Kaoru, could you please share the screen there? Thank you so much. Yeah, so it's called the Next Kitchen, and let's move to the next slide, please, Kaoru. Thanks. So who are we behind the Next Kitchen, and what's it all about? So the Next Kitchen is generously supported by these organizations you can see here. So the City of Kobe and Hyogo Prefectural Government, and then also JETRO, which you heard from earlier. And I think because of the way this has been set up with this clear government backing and government trust on the program, that's the reason we've been able to attract so many significant corporate partners, which are going to be open to meeting and discussing and potentially building relationships with you throughout the program if you do so wish to go ahead and apply. And then down the bottom, that's Innovation Dojo, that's us. So as Kana mentioned, we're all about helping companies to navigate the market and go through what we have been through ourselves. Next, please. So what is this Next Kitchen thing? So this is a program that facilitates successful market entry to Japan for innovative food-related startups. So it does this via providing opportunities to be briefed on the market. And I guess in a way, we've already started by Ugo's great presentation and insights here, really showing the reality of what the market's like. But then we also take it a step further and we look at matching your companies with the Japanese companies that we have relationships with, that we believe on paper at this stage, you might have a good chance of helping them solve those problems or providing something aligned with what they're trying to achieve. And, you know, besides just the business relationships, there are investors, potential investments involved too, and much more. It's not a brand new program. So it began in 2023. And now this is, although we're still in 2024 right now, this is for the 2025 program. So this will be leading up to February next year, where the program will begin proper. And there's lots of work going on between now and then to sort of prepare the companies that end up being accepted into that program to have the best possible and I guess most valuable experience. So some of you might be thinking, why Kobe? And a lot of other programs are sort of automatically in this Tokyo equals Japan or Japan equals Tokyo mindset. Well, apart from being a really popular and attractive, and you could say sophisticated city, there are many reasons why a program like this makes sense to be in this part of Japan. And so let's have a little jump into seeing what Kobe is like. And let's move to the video, Kaoru, if that's okay. Okay, so moving on to the next page. So what makes Kobe different from other cities, you know, and if you're sort of looking around at different cities in the world, a lot of cities are claiming to be the Silicon Valley of wherever they are, right? So why would you think differently about a city like Kobe? Well, it's a really well-established city. It's sophisticated, and it really genuinely has a special connection to food and dining. Kobe is a port city, which makes it naturally more international than a lot of other places nearby. And it presents the world's best food produce and also famous Japanese cuisine, which some of you may have heard of. There's a really strong network of support, and this goes beyond just food tech or food industry related tech support, but for startups in general, there's a real robust set of support available. And if you look into the not so far distant history of Kobe, big names in the food industry like Nestle have selected Kobe to be their headquarters, and there's good reason for that, right? And our company too has decided to set up in Kobe. So let's move to the next slide. So of course, there's good food, right, in this city, and I assume some of you have heard of this little thing called Kobe beef. Well, beyond just Kobe beef, Kobe is actually renowned for many exceptional cuisines and food-related businesses. As Ugo mentioned before, there is a thing called Kobe pudding, which is like a staple gift that you would give to someone. For those interested in the alcohol sector, the Nara district of Kobe produces a very high percentage of the whole supply of sake for Japan and also exporting that. And maybe lesser known, but a huge industry is Kobe wine. And a lot of that is harvested in the Rocco Mountains in and around Kobe City. So they're just a few examples. And then I also want to stress that it's not just about the food itself. So there's actually a thriving food manufacturing industry. And several of the players in the manufacturing side of the food industry are headquartered in Kobe and actually involved in this program too. Next, please. So what's on the menu? Sorry for the corny line there, but for the menu of this program, and as sort of mentioned already, we'll be doing, I guess, the things that we know you'll need to do if you are serious about entering the market here. So we'll be looking to give you real insights specific to what your company is offering and the insights from the partners that you need to be targeting for your market entry. So it's not just kind of innovation tourism. It's actually going to be customized for the type of business market entry strategy that you need. Beyond just speaking to people and meeting people, we'll take you out to some of the real sites, some of the companies active in the food scene here, and become familiar with things like the manufacturing process and what's underneath the bonnet of some of these companies that are feeding Japan and feeding the world with their businesses. There's a big focus on one-to-one business matching. So by the time you are selected to be in the program, we will have already been lining up meetings for you, not random, but based on what you have to offer and what the market actually wants. And like many programs, we'll have a demo day, but it's really a showcase, right? It's an opportunity to showcase to the market. And from now and even up until after the program begins, we're going to continue bringing in relevant potential partners, potential customers, potential investors, so that when it comes time for you to showcase your business, there'll be the relevant audience there, and it won't stop at that point. Next, please. So if we fast forward all the way to February, where the in-country part of this program starts, it's fairly simple, and this may move around a little bit, but on the Monday, you'll arrive, relax, acclimatize, probably have your first tastes of the deliciousness that Kobe has to offer. And from the second day, after a good rest, we'll do a welcome orientation, start introducing you to some of the key people that will look after you during this week program. And then straight away, you'll go out and start looking at some of the sites, some of the manufacturing sites, some of the food-related technology sites. And we'll begin by mixing the lunches and the dinners, where you'll be able to taste the goodness of Kobe firsthand and drink some of that goodness too. But having lunch with the people that we hope you will make meaningful and long-lasting relationships for your businesses, at least. And then we'll get into the mentoring. And when we say mentoring, we're not talking about startup or business 101 mentoring. We're talking about mentoring for doing business with the Japanese counterparts. Whether you're looking to find a representative in Japan or make a deal or even validate a little more deeply with some potential customers, that's what that kind of mentoring will be. And it will be from people who have been there, done it before, or for people who are active in the industry right now. Then we'll go into the business matching, and you'll meet the first set of potential business partners there. And that will be curated so that the people attending know that it will be your company and your technology and your style of service before they decide to come. So it won't be a sort of general networking setup where you're lucky if you bump into someone. It will all be curated and designed so that your time is optimized and you're only going to be speaking with people that are potentially going to be your partners or collaborators in some sense. We then move to more business matching, and then we're going to give some interesting content around a panel discussion format before we move to the demo day and where you'll be able to showcase to a larger audience exactly what you're doing in Japan and why your service offering is unique. Then we continue with more business matching. You'll notice a lot of focus on actual business conversations here. We want you to do that as much as possible. And then before you leave to go back, we'll have a little wrap up and a chance for everyone to maybe share their experiences or what they would like to continue after this intense week finishes. Okay, next, please. So as I mentioned, this is not the first time the program has run. Some of you may recognize some of the global startup and technology company logos here. And one of the big benefits from the program is not only the networking with your current cohort, so other people doing it that you'll meet in Kobe, but also the previous participants. So we'll be enabling you to connect with these people and learn from the lessons that they did, so that you can optimize the time that you're here. Some of the examples here, you might have heard of Better Be My Friend, which produce a really innovative vegan butter, and Better Fish, which is an alternative tuna fish, which obviously is an important fish in the market here. You may also be thinking, if you're not in food tech specifically, but you're more in the technology for the food industry, that this set of logos looks very food tech specific. Well, I want to make the point clear that this year we are by design making the companies more diverse. And so there will still be these food tech type companies, but we are purposely opening a little bit wider because we do have on the Japan side companies in the food manufacturing business that are looking for something more than just alternative types of foods. So just wanted to make that clear. Okay, next, please. So speaking of the Japanese side and the companies participating, if you've had a look at the website, you may have already noticed we have a pretty diverse and eclectic mix of companies, ranging from, in Japan at least, household names like Sumitomo Corporation. I've noticed we've recently added Osaka Gas, maybe in the last few hours. That wasn't there last time I checked this. But these are really huge conglomerates, right? And they have so many different areas they operate in. but they all have a sizable play in the food industry too. And then you're also looking at local companies to Kobe and Hyogo. So, there are Fujiko and Kanetetsu, Yoheim, etc., who are in the manufacturing of food business and in different segments within the food industry there. We also have venture capital firms like Future Food Fund, which is actually backed by a lot of the different food corporations in Japan. And they're looking to engage with the cohort that's coming across too. So this is just a flavor of the type of companies that you will definitely be engaging with if you do apply and get accepted onto the program. And as it says there, Kana and the team are working hard to have more than 20 of these companies on the table there for those participating. So it's a genuine chance to fast track your validation and business development here. Okay, next please. Does a program like this actually work, right? Some of you may have already been into various accelerators in different countries, or maybe in your home country. And let's be honest, it doesn't always work for every company, right? So fortunately, we've been running this now for 3 years, and this is the 3rd year. And this will be, a new and improved iteration after we've learned each time. And to give you some insights from the success cases that we learned from, I mentioned Better Fish before, which is the alternative tuna technology company. They met JAL, Japan Airlines, in the program here. And really happy to announce that Better Fish is actually serving its tuna within the business and first class flights of JAL now, within a tuna sandwich that's part of the regular menu on those flights. So that's a real outcome. And also, although we can't say the specific trading company name, which is Kobe based, but you may be able to work it out once you come over here. Be Better, my friend, and this particular trading company are getting close to distributing this plant-based butter in Japan together. And that butter will also be used in Japan in the manufacturing process of a particular bread that's on the market here. So these kind of partnerships have come from this exact program. So just to give you a picture, of course, levels of success change depending on what company it is, but it is a platform that can provide results like this. Okay, next, please. These are just some testimonials, but you can see a company saying it's really a true deep dive on the Japanese food culture. And I guess that's one part of it that we want to deliver on as a program. So beyond just what you can read online or look up on ChatGPT, we want you to have the live conversation with the market here, and really beyond what you can find publicly, have some real insights related to your company and what you need to know. Better Fish, obviously they were happy with their JAL outcome, and they're saying that the program was everything they needed to explore the food and culture industry. And then there's a third company there, which is talking about the value of the one-to-one meetings, which I think for many of you would probably be the main draw card beyond the educational and market exploration aspect. It's really about, can this generate business development leads, and that's what we're all about here. Next, please. So yeah, just to go back over the benefits of this, the main one I think is access to potential partners, potential collaborators. Through the networking, you'll be able to not only gain insights, but you may be able to start partnership discussions and even discussions with potential investors if you're at that stage where you're looking for investment, or it may be investment specifically to expand into Japan. The government support at the backbone of the program. So this whole thing is a government initiative, right? And so the fact that the program is running, it provides not only the government direct support, but the participation fees and the accommodation are also covered by JETRO Kobe there too. There are very specific workshops designed for your situations and your companies, which will be run. And so, yeah, I guess this is the kind of thing that I wish I would have had when I was coming into the market myself. So I think I've gone over time. Let's move to the next page. This is just to highlight that we do have some specific problems that we're trying to tackle in Japan via this program. And a lot of them are related to the demographics of the country. So you may have heard about the aging population, and that's led to the decline in the working age labor force, which drives up the cost for basically employees and labor. And there's also obviously the environmental impact of feeding such a large population. And so these three kind of large problems and issues at the top line drill down and impact, opportunities for food tech and to innovate on the food manufacturing process and on the food industry more generally. Let's move to the next slide, please. I thought it would be worthwhile to have a look at some real specific examples of issues that the companies we are in touch with are having, and may link to what your company can provide. So things like improving nutrition with healthier products, lengthening, the time, or improving the process of preserving food, being able to adapt to a really rapidly changing and diverse need from the consumer market here and abroad, if we look at exporting Japanese foods too. Improving the systems, logistics. So that's when we're talking about, industry 4.0, 5.0, AI and every robotics into factories. Energy efficiency is a huge one for the food industry too. Everything related to sustainable packaging, cutlery, and then some of the hot topics like upcycling, and also, where the alternative and plant-based meats and fish come into the picture. So this is a snapshot. There are many more, but it gives you a bit of a flavor for the type of problems that the companies in the program might be hoping for your help with. Okay, next, please. So how are we going to choose from all of you great companies after you've applied? Well, there are 5 big broad areas that we're looking at. Social impact is one of the big ones, important to the government here and to us. So when you're applying, make sure to put a highlight around the social impact or sustainability aspect of your products. We want you to be serious about launching in Japan. So if you're serious about eating in Japan, that's different than what's required. You need to really show us that you are determined to develop your business in Japan with or without us. And that will help us know that we're putting our resource to the right kind of companies, right? The market fit is a big one. So we will be doing a little bit of comparing and analyzing what you are offering against the companies that will be involved, so that we can make sure that those that do come across and invest that time will have a worthwhile time here. Scalability. So I'm sure a lot of you are talking about this on a day-to-day basis in your business, but looking at scalability in terms of how it matches the Japan opportunities that you might have. And then with your team as well, you would have already been talking about this in a general sense, but what's your clear vision for Japan? And what are your strengths related to Japan? And what kind of homework have you already done beyond this session to show that you are serious and Japan is a real market for you? Okay, next, please. So yeah, I think the most important thing is that there is a market here, right? And within the market of Japan, there is this city called Kobe, which is definitely a strong market for food, whether that be in the retail space or it be in the food manufacturing space. And then within that, there's this program, and we're building a market within the program. And we're putting our hand on heart that we will say, we'll have 20 companies at least during the program, maybe more, that you'll be able to interact with. Okay, next page, please. So when is this all happening? We've had the applications open since the 20th of September, and that will be closing up by the end of this month. So if you have not already, please do apply ASAP so we can start reviewing your company, and we can start thinking about which companies on the Japan side to match you with. We'll be doing a final review of all those applications in middle of November, and selecting and announcing the 10 companies that we'll be bringing here. There'll be a little bit of a pre-departure program, and that will be happening toward the end of November online. And then we'll be staying in touch with you leading up until February, where between the 4th and 7th, we'll finally get to meet you in person and put you in front of our partners here. I think that's all for the timeline. Let's move to the next slide. So, yep, this is the most important call to action while we're all here today. Please scan this or search for Next Kitchen 2025 and get your application started. Next slide, please. You can find the website URL there to go through some details and link to the application. You can ask us anything at any time via japan@innovationdojo.com.au. And yeah, we're really looking forward to meeting you and speaking with you. Over to you, Kana, and thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Josh. Sounds like an amazing opportunity. And I've been talking to the Japanese companies to participate in this program, and they're really, really positive about this program, and really looking forward to connecting to startups have amazing technology who can solve their problem. And with because our CEO loves talking a lot, so we didn't have much time for Q&A. But if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to the website via website or the emails. And we are going to host the webinar again on Thursday at 8 a.m. Japan Standard Time. So if you missed out, if your colleagues or team missed out the session and would like to tune in again, please join our next session. And thanks again for joining participating today. I hope you found the webinar insightful and consider applying for Next Kitchen. So please feel free to reach out to us via email or website or LinkedIn page if you have any further questions. I'm looking forward to seeing new application and hopefully seeing you in person in Kobe next year. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening or have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Looking forward to your questions. Thanks.